Okay, first off, I want to get a couple quick things covered. That intro was made by Chase McAwesome. If you like it, go sub to him. He's actually been around for a while making intros, doing battles, and the likes, so go sub to him because he is McAwesome. Second off, I didn't really feel like doing my standard narration format for this one just because I just crawled out of bed. I do have it in the battle coming after this one, so... Okay, so it's an NU match versus a good buddy of mine, Bustaah the Thread. And I figured... Relicanth versus Charizard, it's more than likely gonna be Sash or have Damp Rock, and I figured I'd just take the gamble despite the double threat there in the form of Water and Rock versus Fire and Flying. Turns out he more than likely does have Damp Rock. He doesn't have the Sash, that's all I know, that's all I really care to know. And I go for the Air Slash here on the Drifblim, just to attempt to stall it from setting up in the form of flinching, so that way he can't sub, he can't Calm Mind, he can't do whatever. And I'm doing a lot more than I thought, and I got a crit, which is like, oh, little mini lead sweep, you're so funny. Okay, so we have, he brings in his own shiny Charizard. I'm like, oh, speed tie, bazing, and I win. So I get the Air Slash off, and it does a lot, and I think he is now officially in Blaze range, so what he's going to do is hit me with a Fire Blast. And nothing in the game, barring anything with Flash Fire, is going to like that pretty much. And that does take me out in one clean shot. You know how it goes. Okay, so I bring in my Electabuzz here, and just to predict the obvious electric move, he goes to his Sinbad to Sandslash. I did predict that, so I went for the Ice Punch. But I make a fairly bad play after here, I guess underestimating Electabuzz because I have been using it recently and I've noticed it fails to get important kills. I do have HP Grass, but I failed to use it for some reason. And while I do switch, he does go for the Swords Dance because he knows I'm going to be scared of the Earthquake. And right here, I make my second mistake and I go for the Will-O-Wisp instead of just outright attacking because I am modest with max spec attack. So I don't know why I went for the burn when I could have taken it out in one shot. Go figure, I guess. But I do live the Night Slash despite the SD because it's not stab and he didn't get a crit. He does get some burn damage off. I'm thinking I could have KO'd with Psychic anyways despite the fact that this was a crit, and if not then he would have died from burn damage anyway. But going back to the original scenario, if he wasn't burned and I just gave him a Psychic, I'm not sure whether or not that would have mattered. But Gardevoir did turn out to be the most useless one in the match because this Reg Ice? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Anyway, pardon the pun, but it really does stop me cold, and I lose a lot of Pokemon trying to take it out. So, for some reason, I didn't leave Gardevoir in as fodder. Go figure, I guess I could come in later and Calm Mind, I don't know what I was thinking. But I bring in my Tauros, and I go for the Stun Edge. And it does half, so it's gonna be a 3-hit KO for sure with lefties, but because of Life Orb recoil, I'm not gonna be able to take the second Ice Beam, so that's why I should have foddered out, but for some reason didn't. And I guess this is just to show you the incredible stopping power that is Regice when you just pick a team out of your NU box and you hope it works, I guess. So I bring in my mixed Sharpedo here. And Crunch doesn't do the job. I don't have Waterfall because I have Surf. Because a lot of people expect Waterfall, so when they go to their physical walls, I hit them with a special move. Unfortunately, that's not the case because he does have a special wall. And I'm stuck with Crunch and Earthquake, which are both not going to do the job. So I bring in Electabuzz again. And I go for the EQ because I don't have Cross Chop. Because I fear that the 75 accuracy is really gonna put me in danger. Like, it would have probably right here KO'd, but you have 1 in 4 chances of missing, and I have had Cross Chop miss a lot when I've used it, which is why I don't really gamble on my Electivire anymore. But he does live, he does get the rest off, so I'm just forced to stay in here and Earthquake all day, every day. Well, just all day, I guess. And he is the Rest Talking set, so he can pull Rest, he can pull T-Bolt, he can pull Ice Beam. Thankfully, he doesn't pull Ice Beam. I'm hoping he keeps pulling Rest, you know. Everyone does. But it's 1 in 3 chances. And once again, I do go for the Earthquake here, because the only other physical move I have is Ice Punch, and yeah. Okay. So I get a crit there. It doesn't really matter, because he'll be able to live the next hit anyway, and he could have rested it off, so it's whatever. He sleep talks and he pulls out the Ice Beam, which is the one I was hoping he wouldn't get, because if he did pull T-Bolt, Electabuzz's Spec D is okay. I don't have like a move that, an ability that like benefits directly from electricity, like Electabuzz's bigger brother in the form of Motor Drive or Jolteon in the form of Volt Absorb. Electabuzz is just stuck with lame static. Anyways, I bring in Dragonair at this point, and I go for Outrage, knowing fully it'll take it out from that low on health. I really didn't want to do that, but my only other option was Gardevoir, and I'm not going to be able to take it out because Regice is just such a beast in forms of Spec D. And he brings in Charizard right here, and goes for Brick Break. I'm guessing it was a misclick because Blazed Fire Blast probably would have done a lot more than this Brick Break here. But I don't know, I guess he was scared of missing, or go figure. I'm leaning towards the fact that it was probably a misclick, but it is whatever. I'm totally okay with that. So, he brings in his last one, which actually turns out to be an Event Entei, and I am confused right now. So, he goes for the Howl, knowing that there is the chance that I'm going to hit myself. I go for Aqua Tail, and I do hit myself, which really sucks, because at least I could have gotten that. I know I can't live like an extreme speed from this thing at the health that I'm at right now, but like if I did hit Aqua Tail, then since he has Life Orb, he probably could have worn himself down, or if he went for Flare Blitz or whatever on my next one, then I don't know, he could have died from recoil. Probably could have been a little closer. It was still a nice 1-0, still a great game, and I do have another NU match coming after this. I figured I'd put them both in the same video just because saves on intro, saves on upload time, I guess. And that's it. I'll leave you with the next one, which is in my traditional format. So here we go. Okay, today we have a NU match versus a buddy of mine off of the thread that I frequent. His name is Blaarg, and not much. We had an NU match here, and you see some stuff that really is like NU of NU. Like half of the stuff you really don't see used that often, if at all. Well, you'll see in a little bit. There's some what the fuck things on like both of our teams, but anyways, let me go ahead and play it back right now. If you're able to see the versus recorded description right now, you should have seen at least two that are like, whoa, I haven't seen those in a long time. Anyway, so he leads with his Bastiodon. It's fairly obvious that he's going to have a Sash. I forget if Bastiodon gets Sturdy, but if it does, it's not going to need the Sash next gen. I'm not really remembering, but anyway, it's all good. I hit it with the Focus Blast, and it does hang out with the Sash, decides to set up rocks in order to try to fuck up my Charizard later. I keep Charizard as a lead just so I can avoid the rocks, which is, you know, I'm okay with having a Charizard as a lead. Hits pretty hard. Anyway, he goes into Kingdra, which is actually Golduck. I'm like, what? I've never really fought a Golduck before, so I don't know what they like to do. And he tries to Calm Mind. I'm like, oh no, that's not good. So, I got T-Bolt. I'll probably resist most of its moves, but he Hydro Pumps and it gives me back my health. I'm like, sweet. But he does have the hidden power. I'm not sure what hidden power it is. I know it's doing pretty damn good amount of damage after one Calm Mind. Solid 2-hit KO. And I learned at this point that he's Life Orbed. So I go for T-Bolt. I don't know Golduck stats at all, so I literally just kind of play this by ear. And it looks like it might be a 2-hit KO after his Life Orb recoil. I'm not sure. And minimum or maximum damage, yeah, you can see what would have happened there. You could have banked on like, yeah, you know, maybe you would have lived, maybe you wouldn't have. Anyway, so I bring in my Buckfuts, and that's what she does. She Buckfuts. So I go for the T-Bolt, and these things are actually pretty fast, pretty decent. I don't see them that often, so unfortunately the one move I do have that can hit Arbok is physical, so I get intimidated, and I figure, you know, I'll bring in my Gardevoir at this point, and I'll Tracy Intimidate right back. So whatever it decides to hit me with is not going to be that powerful. And it goes for the EQ. It's going to be a solid 2-hit KO, even after lefties.
So right here, I go for the Will-O-Wisp so I can try to live something, and that way I can at least cripple this thing. I don't know why I switched in Gardevoir. I think I was just kind of fucking around at this point. I have a lot of other things I could have switched in, and Gardevoir was easily, like, the worst one, but I was like, whatever, it's an NU match, it's for fun. What am I gonna do? So, he goes into his Fion, and I go for the Psychic, just because Psychic stab, you know, it's all good. And it turns out, well, after lefties and the like, I actually outspeed it, so I T-Bolt, and this thing really didn't get to do jack shit. Like, I know it's like Manaphy's little brother or sister or whatever you want to call it, but it just really doesn't do that good. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a Fion used successfully. So, anyways, he brings back his Arbok, and it's not really going to do anything because, well, it's just going to die to Psychic, that's all it's going to do. I don't know why he brought it in. Easily could have brought in something else. But, there's that. And, Arbok's gone. I'm really just saying what you can see on the screen, it's kind of obvious. And anyway, he brings in the Linu, and I'm like, shit, it's a fucking Linu. Well, I wasn't really too threatened by it until I learned that it had Shadow Claw, and I was like, oh. And there's really only two sets for Linu. There's like Choice Band with Switcheroo, and then there's this. He ran off to do numbers during this portion, and he learned that I am faster than him, so he goes for the Extreme Speed instead. Me being kind of fragile, I went for the T-Bolt, and yeah, I hit him under half, which is stupid, because he's the belly drumming set, and he has this Salac Berry boost, so I'm like, damn it, but it means he can't belly drum now, which is cool. So I go into my Rock Lobster, because I know he can take a Seed Bomb, I know he can take a Extreme Speed, I know he can take a Shadow Claw, he can take them all pretty damn easily, and since Linu's paper thin, I'll just go ahead and X-Scissor and take it out, no problem whatsoever. And, what do I have? I've got Life Orb on this thing, because this is a Rock Polish one. He brings in Blissey, which is actually a Wigglytuff. I'm like, okay. We'll do Stone Edge, because it's stronger. I can risk a miss, because he's probably going to end up T-Waving or Reflecting. It's much like the Wigglytuff that I use. So he goes for T-Wave. I'm glad I didn't really even try to attempt polishing up. So he's going to get this off. And he actually goes for the Seismic Toss, because he knows he can kill me. It's not like I was streaming this match or anything. I guess he can gauge that I was below a third easy. So he does take me out. And last but not least is Nigri. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Nigri. Anyway, I just named it after that model if you've seen anything on Google. And I just go for the Outrage for the kill. I personally think he should have set up Reflect on that turn, and then he would have lasted a little bit longer, but you can't really stretch out a Wigglytuff over like 4 people. It was a good game. I mainly want to upload it because I found it interesting with the different amount of Pokemon that people use and people find viable. I'm not sure if he just like tosses stuff together or what the deal was. I kind of did the same thing with mine because I don't use Armaldo and Electabuzz on a regular basis, and I would imagine no one really uses Golduck or Wigglytuff on a regular basis. So we just pretty much had fun with it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys on Saturday. Peace.